Hi, this is Greg Anderson. I'm the broker at RE/MAX Advisors West. I want to talk about an integral part of most purchase agreements that take place today. There seems to be a lot of misunderstandings around it, and it's the Inspection Contingency Addendum. Probably 99% of the contracts that we see coming across our desk are going to be subject to the buyer having the home inspected by an independent inspector at their expense within a period of time. The sellers agree to allow the buyer's inspector access to the property. The buyer is responsible for the cost of the inspection. They're also, it doesn't have anything to do with the appraisal. It's a separate thing for the buyer's information. And the buyer has to satisfy themselves as to the qualifications of the inspector. Now typically the time frames that we see would be 5 and then 2, 2, and 2. 5 business days from the date of final acceptance to do the inspection. If the buyer doesn't do the inspection in those 5 days, that part of the addendum is expired, the rest of the contract's in effect. If they do the inspection within the 5 days, they then have 2 days to notify the seller of any defects and whatever proposed remedies the buyer is looking for. Think money. Some kind of concession, that's usually what it boils down to. If they do the inspection within the 5 days, and within the 2 days they don't notify the sellers of the listing agent of the defects and proposed remedy, again, this part goes away, contract's in effect. If they do the inspection within the 5 days, and within the 2 days they notify the seller, say they want a $1,000 concession, at that point the buyer and the seller would have 2 days to resolve the issue. Doesn't mean that the problem is fixed. It means there's an agreement about how it's going to be fixed or paid for. If that doesn't happen, then the whole contract blows up. Buyer signs a cancellation, seller signs a cancellation, buyer gets their earnest money back, deal's over. Now there's one more thing, and that is if they do the inspection within the 5 days and they find out something that's just so egregious that they go, no way, don't want the house under any circumstances, they have that right. This is kind of the weasel paragraph. And so they can basically, they're not obligated as a buyer to negotiate with the seller if they find out something that's so detrimental to their use and enjoyment of the property that they don't want the house anymore, and they have that right. Now, thing that seems to be happening out in the marketplace is that people think that the inspection contingency is an open door to renegotiate. These are used houses, they're not in new condition, they can't be expected to be in new condition. So there needs to be a reasonableness around this. So as always, if you've got additional questions or want to drill deep into it, please contact me by email or phone, and obviously these are going to impact, they're going to be specific to the situation pertaining to the house. But I just wanted to clarify a few points so that you have an understanding of the inspection clause, a contingency addendum rather, going forward. Thanks, have an awesome day.